Okay, solving equations. So this should be a quick review for most of you. Right here we are going to, I don't really use this very often, but the guess and check method. So I'm just going to show you kind of what the book does here. It just says try to choose answers that make sense. So here it said guess 11. So we put 11 in here. What's 11 minus 6? 11 minus 6 is 5. Does 5 equal 4? No. So it is not. Is 11 the solution? No. I guess I shouldn't put not. I should just put no here. No, it is not a solution to the equation. So then it says try 10 because 5 is close to 4. So then you do 10 minus 6 is 4. 4 does equal 4. So yes, it is a solution. So that's guess and check. Not a real fan of that. We always try to teach actually how to solve. So that's what we're going to do next. So there are these properties of equality. Just what are the things you have to do in order to solve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the year term problems. One of the things it says use the properties of equality here, but one of the things I'm going to talk to you about is there's a difference in simplifying and solving. Okay, solving can only occur when there's an equal sign, and solving occurs when you're trying to move things to the other side. So for example, when I want to solve, or simplify, I should say, when I want to simplify, we learn this order of operation. It's called PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Most of you have heard that. And you do parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division from left to right, and then addition, subtraction from left to right. But when I'm solving, so that's what I do when I try to simplify, okay? So when I simplify, that's the order I go in. But when I want to solve, then I go backwards. I do the reverse order here. So what that means is any addition and subtraction I have to do first. So in this case, I've got to get rid of this negative 10 or minus 10. Now how do I get rid of it? I just do the opposite. And most of you, again, should be familiar with this. So I add 10 to both sides. That's going to cancel that out. I'm left with 5x equals 30. Now, the next step is to do all multiplication and division. So this is multiplication. How do I get rid of it? I do the opposite. So whenever I'm solving, everything is always about opposite. So I divide both sides by 5. When I do that, those 5 cancel, and I get 6. Okay, what about the next one? So again, reverse order. We subtract 9. Those cancel. 1/3 x equals 12. Now, how do I get rid of the 1/3? There are actually two ways to do this. I'm going to write it 2 different times, and then you choose what you want. So one is, this is multiply, so to get rid of it, I divide. Now, if we're using a calculator, this is pretty easy. You can do 1/3 or 12 divided by 1/3 on the calculator, and when you do that, you get 36. Now, another way to do it is come over here on the left-hand side. I'm going to do this again. You can get rid of the fraction by doing what is called the reciprocal. Reciprocal, or some teachers teach refliprical. You flip it over. So what happens, the top 3, the bottom 3 cancel. The top and bottom ones cancel. Leaves x. 12 times 3 again is 36. So you get the same thing. So the thing I want to emphasize here to you, when you simplify, you do order of operations. When you're solving, you go backwards. You do the opposite. Okay, so everything's opposite. All right, keep going here. Let's go to the next year term problem. So this is on the next page. It says solve an equation to determine the unknown quantity. It says an ostrich that is 108 inches tall is 20 inches taller than 4 times the height of a kiwi. What is the height of the kiwi? So when you're writing these equations, always make the variable represent the thing you know the least about. The thing I know the least about in this problem is the height of the kiwi. So I'm going to call that x. Okay? So reading the sentence, ostrich is 108 inches tall. That is, okay, is means equals. Okay, so when we see the words is, that means equals. 20 inches taller than, so that's 20 plus 4 times the height of the kiwi, which we call x. So there's our equation. Now, one thing to note here, This is a positive 20 added to a 4x, a positive 20. So the way I get rid of it is I subtract 20. This is confusing for some students sometimes. So I subtract that, I get 88 is 4x. How do I get rid of the 4 then? I divide, because this is multiply. And when I divide, then I get 22 equals x. Now, what is 22? The height of the kiwi in inches. So I need to put my units, 22 inches. All right, let's do number 6. An emu that measures 60 inches in height is, okay, 60 inches is equals 70 inches less than. Okay, now less than means subtract, but whenever you see this word less than, that always means you subtract at the end. Real important to remember that. 70 inches less than 5 times the height of the kakapo or whatever it is, which is our x. The height of the kakapo is our x, so we have 5x here. So a little different, okay, subtraction. Anytime you see the words less than, always subtract at the end of the statement. So we do the opposite, so we add 70. So that's 130 equals 5x. You divide both sides by 5. And that's going to give us, let's see, 226 equals x. And again, it's in inches, so 26 inches. All right. So now we'll get into the homework, which we're going to do online, and I'll talk to you about how to do that.